Actually,
The Rock gave him a
I was
shout
about to
out.
say The Rock, who is, if he's not doing, Chinese slurs, has found. And anyway, he goes past us, and then I think the song had just ended, and he just passed us, and then suddenly I hear, for $1.99 a month, you can get Spotify Premium.
Welcome back to Critical Banter, my friends. This is where we take the very best bits from your favorite late night shows and package them into a podcast. As you can see on our fine young athlete bodies, we are in the Australia World Cup jerseys. My friends, it is a World Cup special. With that, the first segment will be a tier list of World Cups. Not, is 1930 better than 1934? No. Is the Chess World Cup better than the Rugby League World Cup?
And we all know 1934 was clear of 1930.
Exactly. So it goes without saying. We'll be tier listing different World Cups, and we'll also be giving our predictions, hot takes, God knows what, on the hot take segment.
Beautiful.
But before that's wrap the week, we've got me and Miguel. We do not have Kush and Ro. It is a me and Sen special. Hello, Sen.
We floated the idea of doing a World Cup episode, and both of them ran for the hills.
To be fair, Kush said no straight away.
Yeah, that's
and
true.
Rohit said
true.
he might be there. Well, he's just not here.
It's happened a lot recently where Rose says he'll come and then he just never comes. And then it's just me and you left to our own devices.
Is he still in the country?
I think they have let him back into the country.
All right.
But maybe he's in like a holding facility or something.
Who knows? I tried to call him as well. No reply. So,
No,
Ro, if you're out there,
If you're out there.
let us know.
Before we get into the World Cup formalities, I do have a few things I want to bring up to start off this week. Funnily enough, one is soccer related. Football related. Just whichever part of the world you're from, insert whatever correct term is there.
Our episode will change based on your geolocation.
Can we do that?
No.
Oh, damn it. That would be sick. Actually, that would be so much editing for Kush. I'll just go soccer, football, and he cuts that into wherever we need to cut it in. So obviously all the major leagues are on break right now because of the World Cup that's about to start tomorrow. So what you have is a lot of teams are going around, so for example, Liverpool are going to Dubai for like a training camp or some shit. Like whatever. What does that even mean? But you do have some European countries actually coming to Australia to play some friendlies. But it's not like the preseason friendlies where like you just see them passing the ball around for 90 minutes and nothing really happens. Like these guys are in the middle of their season, so they're fit. They don't need like match fitness or anything. So these guys are fully fit and they're like playing proper soccer. So on Thursday night, we went and watched Celtic versus Sydney FC, which is the Scottish champions versus the Australian champions.
City champions.
I don't know. I just decided to throw that in there. The last time I watched the A-League, they were the Australian champions. But I have to say, it was actually a pretty darn good game. Like, it ended up 2-1 Sydney FC, so a bit of an upset. But, like, the quality of football itself was actually pretty decent. Like...
From both sides.
Sydney FC low-key were counter-attacking merchants, not going to lie.
It's fine.
It's like me on FIFA.
Us on FIFA last night.
Exactly. But I have to say, the most... I don't know if this is the right word to use, but the most exciting, exhilarating... No. You know what? Once I tell this story, you're going to realize that's not the right word to use. But the most eventful thing to happen at the game happened in the stands, actually. So we were sitting... So we got... I'm going to full disclosure. We got free tickets to these. I'm not paying to go watch Celtic versus Sydney FC. So we got free tickets and we sat, I think, 5th row, 6th row. And we were around like the goal, like the penalty box area. And then... It was halfway through the second half. Someone just says, oh, hey, like, what's that guy doing? And he points to someone who was about 6-7 seats away from us to our right. And we all turn around and this old guy is like hunched, like slouched over the chair, convulsing.
Oh, brother.
This guy was having a seizure at the football.
Football is that exhilarating.
That exhilarating that it got him going. And so... I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I've never seen anything like this before. What do you do? But luckily, one of us was actually medically trained. So I'll say Rohit's missus, literally the day before, completed her last ever day of medical school.
Lovely.
So obviously, as you do, none of us had no fucking idea. So we just bullied her into going like, can you go do something, bro? Isn't this what you're trained to do? Haven't you studied 5 years for this? And so she relaxed. I'm not going to say relaxed. She actually did. She went into action mode. She jumped over the seat. She ran over, and this other guy came as well. Some other random like viewer as well will come.
Trained.
Well, I'm going to tell that part of the story. So he stopped breathing, and so they started doing CPR. But bro, this guy, so our friend didn't do the CPR. It was the other guy who did it. And Jesus Christ, bro. I don't know if he was doing it correctly because he was pushing so hard. Like maybe that is the correct way of doing it. But someone else was looking and they also know how to do CPR. And apparently he was doing it wrong because they didn't put him onto a flat surface. So he was still hunched over the seats and like half his body was off the seats. And so they were literally like, it looked like they were trying to kill him more than anything.
Crouched man.
Yeah. Like, so like he was like on his back across like 2 or 3 seats. Half his body was off it. And they were like pushing him into this like fucking plastic seats. And apparently someone said like he probably bruised a few ribs.
Truly, yeah.
So obviously the CPR wasn't working. So then what we had to do, so we started, one of the other guys had to call the ambulance, and then suddenly out of nowhere, like all these police, and then I think at the game they had like some paramedics.
Paramedics at the game.
So they came and they literally, it was like, yeah, fine. Like they didn't have much time to think, but like the way they picked him up, like, so we're in the stands, right? So they picked him up out of the seats. Like he was like Jesus, like just like like lifeless. Like they pulled him up, took him up to like the concourse, and they put him on the ground there. And they started like doing the CPR, and then they got the big defibrillator out. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, like, is this bloke okay? And then I think what had happened was by the time they put him into the concourse and they got the defibrillator out, one of our friends had got through to the ambulance, and the stadium we were at, there was actually a hospital, luckily like 3-4 minutes away. And so they were able to get the ambulance there quickly enough. And apparently he did start breathing at the end.
Lovely.
But Jesus Christ, and then like, oh yeah, once the paramedics came, they just shoot our friend away, like the doctor friend. It's like, fuck off. She's like, she actually didn't tell them she was a doctor because technically she's not yet.
Fair.
And I'm like, you've done 5 more years of medical school than all of us, so you're the closest thing we have to a doctor.
Still a medical student by letter of the law.
She was very, actually, so our friend who was talking to the, when he called 000, like the emergency hotline, he's like, oh yeah, my friend's a doctor, she can explain what's happening. And then he gave the phone to her, and then she immediately, the first thing she said is like, I'm not a doctor.
Oh my God.
Because apparently she has to like say that.
Disclose it. Fair enough.
And then, so one of our friends who was like calmly like telling the emergency line like where to go, like, oh, we're here so-and-so at this bay. He credits his calmness to a beautiful stone and wood beer he had in his hand the entire time. Kept him cool under pressure, he reckons.
I think it is.
Of course you know who it is.
This is 6'4".
Yes,
man.
it is.
Oh my God.
He's like, oh, without the beautiful God's nectar, he would have panicked. And that man maybe not have made it.
So, in essence,
yes,
if we simplify the term,
it's exactly what you think it is.
4x equals 2, we make it 2x equals 1.
Yes.
Stone and wood saved the man's life.
Exactly.
You know what? Fair play.
And the entire time we were thinking, this should be an ad.
You know what?
Stone and wood should be paying us because this should be an ad.
We are going to bleep the brand's name.
Oh.
And we are going to go to the brand.
Oh yeah, we're like, tell them the story.
We'll disclose the story, and if they are willing to pay us even 1 shilling, you'll know the brand.
That is true. But yes, the gist of this story is this soccer game was so good. This man had seizure, cardiac arrest, insert whatever medical term you want there.
So I'm going to go watch Wanderers versus Everton this Wednesday.
Yeah, but Everton's shit
or
though.
when this episode comes out.
Yes.
Free tickets via the same
source.
The same source. You've set my hopes up for not only amazing football, but amazing crowd.
Look, I hope nothing like that happens again.
Yeah. I hope on the field it happens.
Yeah.
I hope off the field I don't have to have a insert beer brand name to enjoy my time there.
They'll have Hans Super Dry on tap. Maybe that'll help you out this time. I got one more. I was at the park yesterday and we were just walking, and then suddenly we hear this like music, like loud hip hop music. I'm like, that's a bit odd. We're literally at a random like walkway in a park. Like, where's this music? It's not like a party would be nearby or anything. And suddenly we see like this kid, like maybe 15, 16, comes hooning through on a bike, and on it, like around his neck is a little speaker, and he's like pumping out music. Like he's basically announcing himself from like 100 meters away. And then
music.
He's literally intro music. And I'm like, all right, well, fine, whatever. He's a kid. I'm not going to have a go at him. It is what it is. Like, but it was really loud, and like it was very serene and like quiet before that. And anyway, he goes past us, and then I think the song had just ended, and he just passed us, and then suddenly I hear, for $1.99 a month, you can get Spotify Premium. Fucking start laughing my ass off. I'm like, bro, you can't be a hoon and then have Spotify free.
Yeah.
Literally.
That discredits your whole
image. For the next 20 seconds, all I could hear was just ads as he was riding away into the sunset.
Oh my God. I think that happened to me recently in terms of, I think I forgot where it was at. Might have been like a cafe or a restaurant.
Yeah.
You know how maybe a cafe, you know how they play like the, lo-fi or like acoustic.
Oh, yeah.
Calms you down. Then all of a sudden, for $1.99, you get Spotify Premium for free.
I love it. It also happens when you're in Southeast Asia, like where they don't have Spotify or anything like that, and they play music off YouTube. So you'll either get the ads on YouTube, or what I found more often than not is they'll just play covers of songs.
Yeah.
So you'll never get, Ed Sheeran or Justin Bieber. You'll get insert niche Southeast Asian.
That happens here as well. A lot of restaurants.
Really? I've never heard it
you
here.
hear like acoustic music, and that's probably the reason why.
Ah,
Play,
okay.
off Ed Sheeran Vivo, you get ads.
Yeah.
Playing bloody Ed Sheeran cover, no ads.
No ads, exactly.
Beautiful. I've got one more thing, half football related, half interesting, some might even call. Louis Vuitton has done absolute madness in their marketing, and I just wanted to bring this up. Have you seen recently? There's like a pop up in Sydney. It's like an exhibition. Brother, this is the
Wait, where in Sydney?
like Sydney CBD,
Like where? Pitt Street?
Circular Quay, Circular Quay.
I know.
Just before someone calls me an idiot.
No, I did not go to those areas this week, so I didn't see that.
It's like this big pop up, bro. It's like a normal,
Just for Louis Vuitton.
whole Louis Vuitton, but it's like art exhibition. So you know the sculpture by the sea, for example.
Yeah.
They'll make a sculpture out of everyday objects or
like water bottle, like recycled plastic water bottles. I make.
There's the same thing, but Louis Vuitton handbags.
Jesus Christ.
So like it's a big fucking there's a lot of sculptures.
Is it real Louis Vuitton, or is it the Louis Vuitton we could have gotten in Bali? With Louis spelt with 7 L's.
It's sponsored by Louis with 1 L.
Okay.
But I feel like to make the
I was going to say
affordable.
Yeah.
With 7 L's. But I think it's legit. And it's like I haven't been, but I've seen it on Instagram. There's so many different fucking spots of just Louis Vuitton handbags. Like different sculptures. And fuck me. This is prime marketing because everyone's going. All over my TikTok, I'm seeing TikToks like 100K likes. Like,
really?
There's this new Louis Vuitton pop up. And I was like, I've got to go.
Like I've got a very different feed to you.
But they're capturing all markets. And this is why I bring this up. This morning, you see the internet breaking photo that dropped.
No.
It's a collage. It's chess. 2 people playing chess.
I did see it. Yes,
on a
I
Louis
did. I
Vuitton
did see that.
chessboard.
Oh, was that a Louis Vuitton ad?
To the left was Lionel Messi.
I saw.
To the right was Cristiano Ronaldo.
Cristiano Ronaldo. I did see that.
They
yes.
both uploaded it on their personal Instagrams.
No way. All right, let me quickly look. I forgot where I saw it, but I did see it somewhere this morning.
Everyone's seen it, dude. It's unreal.
Oh, I literally just opened my Instagram and it just popped up. It was like a Sport Bible thing that came up.
This photo is breaking the net. And you know what? Kudos to Louis Vuitton. They've absolutely done marketing.
I wonder how much they paid the big boys for this.
Exactly. And to get them to post it as well, not just be in a photo.
Yeah, not even like a story, like to proper post it.
It's unreal, man. It's unreal.
Okay, so Ronaldo posted it 6 hours ago. It's got 22 million likes.
The most liked photo on Instagram, trivia, do you know what it is?
Is it the Ellen at the Oscar? No, that's Twitter or whatever.
It's the egg. You remember the egg?
Oh, no way. Yes, I do remember that.
The egg has 50 million likes.
Oh, okay, so this could...
So by the time this episode comes out...
It might have, maybe.
Be the most liked photo on Instagram.
But surely it should be, right? Literally the 2 biggest players of all time. Messi's one has 17 million likes. Oh, at least Messi in his post, he's put paid partnership. Good man. I respect that. Full disclosure.
They must have paid.
You reckon, are they actually both... Were they both there in person or have they photoshopped the other
Louis
one
Vuitton did a old photo, which was photoshopped. It was like Pele, Maradona, and Zidane.
Zidane? I thought it was Cruyff or something.
Similar vibe. I thought it was going to be Cum Dog, but similar vibe. And they were huddled around like a foosball table. And that was, 3 different photos blended into one.
I think this is 2 different photos blended into one.
That's what people are saying.
There's no... Because, it looks a bit funny.
If we remember to send it to Kush, it'll be on screen. I don't have high hopes for that.
Yeah.
But you can look at it. I'm sure
I'm sure you've probably seen it.
Let's hope this becomes the most liked photo. Alrighty, fellas, our first segment this week is Compare and Contrast. This is our tier list segment. And as we said in the beginning, we are tier listing World Cups. We're not tier listing different football World Cups. We are tier listing all the World Cups that exist in the world. Maybe not all, but we've picked out some of the most popular ones, some of the most outrageous ones. For example, cricket, rugby league, they've been recently, and there are some surprises in here. But we will tier list them as per usual. Before we get into that, we will go through the tiers we have today. We have 5 as per usual, and we've gone a bit rogue as per usual. We have gone through some of our favorite and also the most recent World Cup anthems. At the bottom, we have Higher Higher. Do you know what that is, Sen?
Isn't that it's what I would say on if I want to swing and I want you to push me harder?
Unfortunately, it is not swing slang.
right.
It is the official anthem for the 2022 Qatar World Cup. I don't know, bro.
Never heard of it.
Next is Live It Up. Another one
Live It Up. Isn't that a fucking song by Justice Crew? Or is that? Isn't it? Yeah.
Maybe. Who knows?
That's a very niche reference.
Live It Up is the 2018 World Cup anthem. Next, we have We Are One. This one I've heard of. 2014. It's by Pitbull.
Isn't that an Australian folk song?
It's
We
not
Are
the
One, but
Qantas
the
advertising
Harmony
song.
Day song we used to sing.
It is not that, but that's an all right song. That's why we have a mid-tier. Second top, we have World Cup. We have the World Cup song by Speed. What a banger. That should be the anthem for this year.
It should.
Maintain. And top, I think everyone would know this.
It's
Waka Waka.
Goes without saying. The GOAT.
It's time for Africa.
It's not even just a good World Cup song. It's just a good song, full stop.
It's a good song.
And it stood the test of time.
Exactly.
Still a great song 12 years on.
Exactly. But with that, those are our 5 tiers, and we will crack on. So the first one,
Did anyone find it weird that for the South African World Cup and the song with like South African like undertones, they got a Colombian singer to sing it? Did anyone find that weird? Or was that just me?
It's cheap racial profiling, you know. They found the most they found someone Latino and they're like, you know what?
Close enough.
That'll do.
Yeah, ethnically ambiguous.
That's right. We'll start off with the first one, the one that concluded today as a recording, Rugby League World Cup.
See, the thing is, like with firstly for our American friends and non-Australian friends, really, rugby league is like rugby, but it also has undertones of American football in the sense that you have down. So you have 1 down, 2 down, 3 down, and then you got to get rid of the ball. But apart from that, everything else is like rugby.
It's not rugby union.
It's not rugby union.
Which is the world game.
Which is, arguably much bigger. But rugby league is big in Australia. Oh, well, in Australia. I mean, the east coast of Australia. It's big in New Zealand, big in like the Polynesian islands, so Samoa, Tonga, Fiji, etc. And it's also big in northern England, so like Hull, Warrington, Liverpool, Manchester, and these areas. So in terms of size, not the biggest World Cup. But to the people who play it and to the people who enjoy it, it is a very meaningful.
It's quality. I was surprised by the crowds it got in England.
It was getting decent crowds.
I thought it was just an Australian sport, but it got crowds.
And the final was last night, like you said. It was Australia versus Samoa with Australia winning. And it was at Old Trafford, at Manchester United's home ground.
Look on full as well.
Yeah. So like there is decent following for it. But the problem with the World Cup is there's a lot of like meh teams. So like early on you had like, there was teams like Lebanon, France. And like, so the Lebanon team, for example, was mostly made up of Australian people who had Lebanon like background, right? But a lot of the French team were actually French people. And so I think France played like Australia and it was like 80-0 or something. So you have like these massive blowouts in the early stages of the game, like rounds.
Yeah, because the French players, I looked this up, the French players, they play in like the French rugby league competition. Which I feel like is just a league down the,
Exactly. I'm sure the Oztag team that we play in could probably do damage in that French one. So, I mean, it's not the greatest quality. And so it's not like the other World Cups where every single team there is pretty fucking decent. You're going to have some pretty rogue teams here. But it was pretty cool to see like Samoa, Tonga, Fiji, Papua New Guinea, like all these like countries did pretty well. And like they have large like backgrounds and like large communities here in Australia and they all got around it. Like if you went out to like Mount Druitt last night or literally any time in the last week, you would have just seen Samoan flags everywhere.
Yeah. Actually, the Rock gave him a shout out.
I was about to say The Rock, who is, if he's not doing, Chinese slurs, has found time out of his day. And he actually, so he's actually, I think Samoan, half Samoan or...
He's got the...
Yeah. So he gave a shout out to, and a few years ago, like back when rugby league was like still a bit smaller, he came to Australia and he came on to like the NRL footy show and he actually did a bit with like a guy called Bo Ryan and they like talked about his heritage and whatnot. And so it was actually nice to see him like give a shout out on his official Instagram page as well.
But also, if you like watch the video, you can tell he just doesn't know what he's saying.
Yeah, it looked like a cameo video.
It's like the LeBron Web of Lies type of vibe.
I love Le Cap. Le Cap is like currently my favorite meme right now. But no, it was pretty cool. Like, and it's good to grow the game as well. But in terms of,
it's the fact that like, yeah, all well and good, but the fact that like it was kind of inevitable.
Yeah, Australia,
the country that hosts the only,
Well, no, I mean England's got a comp as well, and New Zealand I think won, maybe not the last one, but the World Cup before New Zealand won.
And you're into rugby, you're playing union.
You're playing union, yeah.
I don't think there's any chance you're playing rugby league.
But like I said, it's more in those northern, like industrial, like
that is true,
working class areas where rugby league is bigger. But yeah, I think
it's the fact that Australia were obviously going to win.
We're going to win,
and they won. And they had the audacity this morning to post that they're three-time champions, three-peat champions or some shit. Like, no shit, you're going to win.
I like it.
So where are we?
I'll put it in the mid-tier.
Mid-tier. It's going in We Are One. The next one we have on the list is the FIBA Basketball World Cup.
See, I don't know. Is basketball... I know it happens, but what's bigger, the Olympics for basketball or the World Cup? I feel like people, like players probably want that gold medal more than they
Olympics.
want.
I think, honestly... Basically, most sports we're going to read on this list, the Olympics are big.
Is like so, like So like obviously with football, like the highest level is the World Cup. With NRL again, the highest level would probably, actually I would say state of origin. But with basketball, I would say it probably goes Olympics, probably playing in the NBA, and then the FIBA World Cup. In all honesty, I reckon
that is true. But at the same, that is true because if you look at the US team, the last team, you got LeBron. He's doesn't want to be selected. He takes him out of the selection pool. Durant, he played actually. But every other big player takes him, Steph Curry, out of the selection pool.
LeBron didn't play at the last World Cup. The last Olympics, right? The Tokyo one. He didn't play, right?
So.
No,
but I think with the Olympics as well, it's like once you win a gold medal.
That's it, yeah, you wash your hands.
So every like big US player has a gold medal, but they only have like one.
Yeah.
Unless you're like KD, who's played in like every single one.
And I think basketball has the same problem as NRL, where there's like probably 3 or 4 like pretty decent teams, and then after that, it's just random blokes you pick up off the street if you're over 6 foot.
Pretty competitive.
You reckon? Well, I can think of like there's Australia, there's US, obviously Australia, France, Argentina, Spain are like the big 5. Maybe am I missing someone? Slovenia with Luka Doncic,
Greece, bro.
Greece? Are they
Serbia?
Serbia. Oh yeah, so Greece, Serbia. Oh okay, yeah. So it's like. There's some Canada, are they all right? I don't know.
I think they're all right. Cameroon should have been good until Embiid declared for France. See that?
Did he declare for France?
Yeah.
I thought he was going to declare for America.
He's a rat.
All right. That's your comments, not mine.
So, shit. Anyways, FIBA World Cup.
But I think because purely it's not the highest level of play for that sport.
But I must say as well, the last World Cup, the US didn't win.
Yeah, wasn't it Spain? or Argentina?
Spain.
Yeah, Spain. And I remember Australia came 3rd or 4th in that. So yeah,
does that add any merit?
No, but that's again comes to your point where America won't sending their best players.
So if they tried,
let's be honest. Let's be completely honest. If they tried, they'd wipe the floor with every other country.
That is true.
And so that's why I would say, and so I think obviously for the Olympics they send their best players, apart from like LeBron last time, but like they do send their best players most of the time. So I think for that, I would say FIBA probably goes into the 4th category.
So, yep, I agree. Second lowest. Next one, we have the WWE SmackDown World Cup.
I don't even know there was a World Cup for this.
Recently, it's been announced that the WWE World Cup will be kicking off. It is the 4th edition.
4th edition? Jesus.
I will say. They have a World Cup. It's just SmackDown, not Raw.
Yeah, what happened to Raw?
It's not worthy of a World Cup.
But how do you have a World Cup of just individual people? I thought World Cups were meant to be team-based sports. Like if it's individual, like, I don't know, like UFC, boxing... Even bloody, if you go tennis, right? They don't have World Cups. They just have tournaments. So isn't this just a tournament?
Well, they've
because the whole point of a World Cup is you're fucking representing a country. So
they've listed 8 names.
Yeah,
and what they said with the FIFA World Cup due to start this month, WWE will host a World Cup tournament of its own.
Yeah, nice. The best thing to do.
When I said 4th edition of SmackDown World Cup, it is November 4th edition. So this might be the only one.
Oh, so it's already finished. So who won?
It's not. It's still going. I think it said semi-finals, but this is what they say: who will emulate soccer powerhouses like Germany, Brazil, and Italy in their effort to become the first ever SmackDown World Cup winner? They've got players of different, not players. They've got wrestlers of different origins. They have Braun Strowman. They have Shinsuke Nakamura.
Didn't he actually play for?
I thought he was a free kick taker for Celtic.
Yeah, didn't he score the goal against Australia in the 2006 World Cup?
That's what I thought, but apparently he's on SmackDown now. They got Santos Escobar. They have Jinder Mahal, amongst others. So they're getting the different.
It's a real who's who of who gives a fuck.
Exactly.
You know, if I'm the organizer, I'm thinking, the FIFA World Cup is on during this month. So what should I do? I should also hold an event at the same time competing with it.
To be fair,
Who's watching this?
the market's the US, mate. Who's watching the FIFA World Cup?
Well, no, it didn't. So I think a few years ago, ESPN paid or maybe it was Fox Sports in the US paid like $5 billion for the rights to the broadcast rights.
That is true.
And to be honest, I think a lot of it is they're basing it on the Latino and the Hispanic market to watch the World Cup. So I reckon, and soccer is growing in the US.
So I'll give you the nationalities being represented.
Yeah, here we
in this
go.
World Cup. So 2 of them are from the United States of America.
Yeah, fair enough.
Santos Escobar is from Mexico.
Yeah.
Butch is from England.
Yeah, UK, nice.
Sami Zayn is from Canada.
Yeah, okay.
Jinder Mahal, India.
My favorite, yep.
Shinsuke Nakamura, Japan.
Yep.
And we have Mustafa Ali from what I believe is
Mustafa Ali.
What I believe is Pakistan.
Gee, they didn't really try with that name, did they?
So they got some subcontinent and they just got fucking...
They got a bit of Asia.
And North
then
America.
just North America. What a World Cup.
The fact that this is just a one-off. Semi-finals will take place on November 25th.
But isn't it WWE? It's all scripted and rigged. So how do you even
So I wonder who they're going to rig to win it.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it's like the FIFA World Cup, really. It's going into the bottom tier.
It's absolutely
Going into the bottom tier.
It is absolutely going into the bottom tier. The next one we have the Cricket World Cup.
Here we go.
What I have here is ICC Men's T20 World Cup.
Okay. Well, so
What other World Cups are there?
There's a one-day World Cup, the 50 over. So the T20 is 20 overs per team, and the 50 overs 50 overs per team.
Thank you. Which one is the...
The older one is the 50 over one. They've been playing that since...
That's a classic one.
That's the classic. They've been playing that since the 70s. The T20 World Cup only started, I think, 15 years ago.
The modern
The
version.
modern one. T20 World Cup, I actually don't care for T20 at all. I've said this before, I feel like on this, it's just hit and giggle. It's like whatever. It's built for children. I
Maybe it's
personally
built
don't.
for people like me.
I think it is built for people like you with shorter attention spans. It's still a good spectacle, and you'll get good results and whatnot. But for me, I think it'll be mid-tier as well.
It's not a pure representation of the
No, exactly. It's a watered-down, advertiser-friendly format of the game. So put that in the mid-tier.
But I hear the most recent one was...
It was pretty good. No, don't get me wrong. It was pretty good. But if you watch the crowds, Aussie people don't care about T20s. Half the stadiums were empty. Who's going to go...
When Pakistan was playing, when I went on Instagram,
That is true.
every second person.
So that's all the
Half of them are
subcontinent.
Indian.
The subcontinent was carrying the ticket sales for this World Cup. So all the India games were pretty much sold out. Pakistan fans also got out there. I think Lanka fans also did decently. But New Zealand games, Australian games, England games, it's not much really. So we'll put that in the mid-tier. But the 50 over World Cup, this is the real deal. This has got the history.
If this was the 50 over World Cup,
I'm loving it. I think Australians, if it was held here, Australians care a lot more about 50 over than they do 20 over. And not to mention, actually, a lot of part of it is Australia's just not good at T20. I'm just going to put that out there. So, if the team was going well, I reckon it would be more supported, but they just aren't. So 50 over is the pinnacle of cricket in terms of one day. It's essentially the equivalent of the FIFA World Cup, but for cricket.
so right now we have I was trying to think of an equivalent.
There's no. This is like the under 21s FIFA World Cup is the T20.
Fair enough, but we'll put that mid-tier.
But I think 50 over has to be. I'm not going to say the top tier because I think there's going to be one in the top tier. So I think the 50 over should be in the second tier.
Fair enough. We have the Chess World Cup.
Oh, here we go. Now we're talking. Now we're being interesting.
FIDE, F-I-D-E. The 2021 FIDE World Cup was held in Sochi.
Was it Magnus Carlsen? Did he win?
The winner was Jan
Oblak.
Duda. I'm not going to say... You try and say his second name.
Yeah, Duda. That's correct.
No,
Jan Christoph. I would say that's Christoph.
Jan Christoph Duda was the winner. It wasn't Magnus.
Oh.
Runner-up was Sergei Karjakin. And it is a 8-round knockout event with the top 50 seeds given a bye directly into the second round. I don't know how I feel about that.
I like that. Isn't that just it's like tennis sort of?
No, you all start at the same round.
Yeah.
You don't, if you're Novak Djokovic, you still got to play first
That's true,
round.
actually. Yeah, you're right.
You don't get around to upsets happen.
Well, no. What do you mean? It's literally like what do you mean? If you're seeded, you go into the actual main, and then there's the play-in tournament. So I assume that's
you got to qualify for the tournament. But if you're qualified, you should
start with a star. Yeah. Okay.
That's what I feel. Each round consisted of classic time limit games on the first 2 days, plus tie breaks on the third day if required. The time limits were, as I'm not going to read all the time limits. Each round lasted 3 days.
What? Oh, right.
Two for
sorry.
classic time limit games and a third if necessary. So you play your 3 days is one round. You play a game each day. Against the same geezer. Prize money. The winner got $110,000 USD.
The winner. That's it.
Total prize fund was $1.8 million.
Is this mixed? Is it men's and women's? Or?
Men's only, unfortunately. They have a caveat here. In parallel with this open tournament, an inaugural women-only version was held.
Actually, just quietly, this tier list is just for men's World Cups because I don't know if you have any women's on this. I'm just going to save us
I will caveat that actually
from being cancelled.
It
So
is
maybe we'll
men's.
just put that at the start.
We are tier listing men's World Cups.
Thank you.
All right. Magnus.
Look, if Magnus won, I would say it's got to go top tier.
We needed
My man is my
a
goat.
chess expert for this.
This man's my goat, but look, I've always said if you don't have a ball, it's not a sport. And so for that alone, it's going into the bottom tier for me.
Bottom tier.
Yeah,
Chess. Chess is a respectable sport.
It's not a sport. It's going bottom tier.
Okay, fair enough. It's going bottom tier. The next one we have Orienteering World Cup.
What was orient? I don't even know what
If you're
orient.
talking about having a ball, what are you going to do with the Orienteering
Can we have a
World
sixth
Cup?
tier for just this? Explain what orienteering is.
Okay, orienteering, for those of you that don't know, Wikipedia defines as a group of sports. That already is enticing. It's like a triathlon.
It's like Wii Sports.
No, it's like the Iron Man.
It's the Iron Man shit. It's you run a bit, you cycle a bit, you swim a bit. Fuck off.
You're done doing the Iron Man so much.
Huh?
You have undersold the Iron Man disgustingly there. Orienteering is a group of sports that require navigational skills using a map and compass
Yeah,
to navigate from point to point in diverse and usually unfamiliar terrain whilst moving at speed. Participants are given a topographical map, usually a specially prepared orienteering map, which they use to find control points. So the Orienteering World Cup is a series of orienteering competitions organized annually by the International Orienteering Federation. There is
Why do they have an international body for this?
The official World Cup was first held in 1986. It's a long-standing world. That's nearly 40
Should have been the first and last one.
And then every second year up to 2004. From 2004, the World Cup has been held annually. So in 2004, they saw an update
Every year. So
in viewership and interest. And
where can I watch
year.
this fine World Cup? Is it on ABC? Is it on beIN Sport here in Australia?
So
Is
the
it on
2002 World
Channel
Cup.
9 showing it? Is it Eddie Maguire? I don't know.
I don't have the info. It doesn't even show me the info. You know how normally in a big event they show you the information.
Yeah.
In which country you can watch on. That information.
Which moves on Twitch or something. Orienteering, if you're good at orienteering, it means you would have survived well in the 1700s. But here in 2022, when we have satellite technology, why the fuck would I need to learn how to read a topographical map?
I'll give you the teams that wanted a topographical map. Sweden are ranked first. So then we have Switzerland, Norway, Finland, Czech Republic.
Why are all the Nordic countries so good at this?
Exactly. France, Great Britain, Denmark, Austria, and Poland.
Sounds like a great Euros group.
It's a very European-centric sport.
Is Eurovision a World Cup?
That is not.
Okay, I was hoping you would put it in there. No, it's not. It's not because it's just Europe. So
By
it's not a World
definition,
Cup.
I need, but Australia in it. Isn't
I think Australia is the only non.
No, there's like a South American country in it. I think like Brazil's in it now these days.
What? No, really?
I feel like they are.
I'm not that. I don't follow Eurovision that closely to be able to fact check you on that. So I
Anyways,
don't know.
back to orienteering. World
Yeah, sorry,
Cup.
back to-
Where are we putting it?
Mate, that's going right next to chess. They're going to warm themselves up at the bottom there.
All right. The next one. Let's bring some order back. The FIFA World Cup.
Beautiful.
It is the World Cup.
Yeah, it's
When you walk around and say World Cup, you're not thinking cricket. You're not thinking rugby. You're not thinking
I don't know. If
orienteering.
you're asking someone in India, I reckon they'd probably say, or someone in the subcontinent, they'd probably say Cricket World Cup. I reckon.
Really?
Yeah.
If you
100%.
just say World Cup,
Yep. They would probably think cricket.
you know what? Exception to the rule.
Yeah.
That's
the power of cricket, though.
That is fair. Second biggest sport,
And if you ask, I reckon maybe in some of the US, if you said World Cup, they're probably thinking,
baseball, World Series.
yeah, they'll be like, oh, yeah, you're talking about the World Series, you idiot.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, okay. But, okay, no, I take your point.
Pinnacle of sport, as you said earlier, it's bigger than the Olympics.
It is bigger than the Olympics.
I think more people give a shit about the World Cup, to be honest, than the Olympics.
Yeah, I mean, like a lot of people probably don't have national pride for the Olympics, but World Cup, I can get around a team. Like who am I supporting at the Olympics, right? I'm like, oh, go Kathy Freeman.
I'll
I
go
don't know.
from some Australian bloke, but Cool. Some guy that's swimming.
Yeah, exactly.
track and
Can't really get around that, right?
Like World Cup, the players, you know 'em.
I know them, exactly.
Exactly. The world, it's pinnacle of sport. The world will stop for this World Cup.
Yes.
And that's why it's at the top. Waka waka. Second last one. FIFA E-World Cup. So
I was hoping you would have some esports in
This is
here.
the real FIFA.
Yeah.
This is where, you know, I saw recently Italy are in the E-World Cup.
But not even in the real
Make
world.
a real World Cup. What is the E-World? It emulates the FIFA World Cup. It is held at around the same time. You've got to qualify for it. You don't represent your...
So will this one be in Qatar as well? Or
That
genuine Qatar? I don't know.
So this year's one, unfortunately, has not been bought out by
that's a
Qataris.
shame.
Allegedly.
Nah, fuck that.
It was held in Copenhagen in July.
Oh, yeah, nice.
So it's a nice teaser to the World
and
Cup.
who won it?
Who won it, my friends? It was Germany.
Really?
Current champion is...
So they play. Is it like? So for our listeners, maybe if you missed that, so it's esports. So they're playing the video game FIFA. So video game soccer. Are they playing Ultimate Team or is it just like head to head?
So it is Ultimate Team.
Yeah.
So it's not even like if you're a German player, you have to use the German.
That's what I thought it would be. That would be more fun.
You build your team with Cristiano Ronaldo.
Yeah, exactly.
Messi, Kylian Mbappe, all of them. And
Everyone's probably got the same team as well.
Exactly. Well, it is interesting. The prize pool was $500,000.
Not bad.
The winner got half of that, $250,000.
Decent.
Second place, we had some bloke from Argentina,
Oh yeah.
and he got $100K.
Anyone from Australia?
I'm looking at... No.
No.
I was scrolling down the list. Top 32 players, no one from...
I was going to ask, like, how do we qualify for this? Is this something we can...
Weekend League
Oh, is that how that works?
is the qualification. So the competitive mode in Ultimate Team is how
So
you...
it ties into this. I see.
Exactly.
So what, you have to come top 32 over the year or something?
yeah,
or is it like a specific...
I assume it's the best 32. It goes off
Fair
there.
enough then.
The countries are...
So these guys are proper nerds
They're
then.
nerds.
Yeah.
The countries are participated. Germany, Argentina, Netherlands, Italy, Brazil, Portugal, US. Fair enough.
Oh yeah, I can imagine that.
Belgium, Spain, UK, France, Denmark, Japan, Poland, Sweden. Again, another very European...
But then again, it is a football game, so I'm
is
not
fair.
surprised about that.
So where are we putting the E-World Cup?
See, we put
You said it has to have a ball. Has a virtual ball.
has a virtual ball. E-World Cup. So look, I think it's one tier above chess and orienteering purely because of it has a virtual ball. But I can't put it any further than that because these guys aren't actually running around or doing anything.
So
Their hands are getting a workout.
So
but that's
we're
about
saying
it. Yes.
the FIFA E-World
Yes.
Cup is the same
Yes.
as the FIBA Basketball World Cup.
Yes. Contextually, yes.
You know what? You know what? Fair enough. We'll leave it there. The last one we have for today.
Yes.
It is one close to all of our hearts. The OzTag World
I knew
Cup.
you were going to put that in there. Look,
What is OzTag for the listeners out there?
So we talked about rugby league being a step down version of rugby earlier on. So OzTag is now 3 or 4 steps below rugby league in the sense that there is no contact whatsoever. So you can't
So
tackle
when you're
anyone.
young, you have touch.
Yeah, you play
footy,
touch.
which is the same, except instead of a whole tackle, you got to
Just-
touch them with 2 hands, basically.
Yes.
People thought that was a bit too physical and aggressive, so they made OzTag.
Yeah, so OzTag is essentially...
It's like flag football.
It's it's flag football.
Flag football.
So to tackle someone, tackle in inverted commas, you have Velcro on your shorts and you have 2 little tags either side of your legs, and then to tackle someone, you just have to take one of those tags off, and that counts as a tackle. See, the thing is, I've heard about the OzTag World Cup. It's actually in Ireland next year, so if anyone...
I saw that. What the...
So if any of our Irish listeners are listening, look out for that. Coming to Galway, I believe, or Belfast. No, that's Northern Ireland. I don't know. I'm sorry. I hope I didn't start a race war.
All right.
But the thing is, right, so there'll be countries like Australia, China, India, etc., etc. But like we said with the Lebanon Rugby League World Cup, everyone who's in this team is basically ethnically, so nationality-wise, they're all Australian, they're all born here, but ethnically they have, like their parents are from said country.
This is my bone to pick.
But
This is my bone to pick with OzTag World Cup.
But so you have a squad of 10, 15, and then everyone's from that country. But you're allowed to have 2 people who are not from that country. So just anecdotally speaking, I think there was a Hong Kong team or there was a China team at the last World Cup, and they had someone we know, one of our friends from high school, who is of Sri Lankan descent. So you had a team of Chinese guys, and then a random brown Donny at the end.
It just doesn't make sense.
It's silly. It's
This whole
silly.
tournament doesn't make sense. Why is it in Ireland? It's called Oztag.
I don't know. I really don't know.
Australian
Yeah,
tag set.
I know. But so you have teams like, so there's like, and then all the Islander teams are there's like Samoa, Tonga, New Zealand. They have, I think Australia has like 2 teams. New Zealand has like 2 teams. There's like a UK team. And then there's like, and the World Cup's cool because like they have like mix. So you can have like teams with like both men and women. And then there's like a men's only World Cup. And then there's a women's only World Cup. And then they even have over 40s. So like, and they all come together. They all play at the same time. And you're all representing your country.
It is, you know what? The true spirit.
It's
of a
but it's
World
proper.
Cup.
It's village. Like it's village football. Like
It's
it's
literally-
proper grassroots amateur sport.
You go down to the local park and watch people play.
You quite literally go down to the local
That's the
park.
standard.
They put cones out and you play.
We play against World Cup players.
Yeah.
In our local Oztag competition,
Yeah,
we
I've
play
played against
World
World Cup players. You know. So yeah, Wait, what do we have in the bottom tier again?
We have the WWE SmackDown World Cup.
Yeah, okay. So it's got to be above all the chess and orienteering.
Is it above the FIBA Basketball World Cup or the FIFA E World Cup?
It simply can't be. It simply can't be. It's
But
got
dare
to
I
be.
just suggest what you've just said is the essence of the World Cup.
That's true.
In a homegrown fashion,
Yeah.
it's bringing the nations
It brings
together.
communities together.
People want to compete. As you said, young, old, male, female.
That is true. It's very inclusive of every single.
Exactly.
It doesn't matter about your race
The
or
FIFA E
creed
World
or
Cup
anything.
doesn't give a shit about your
Yeah,
nationality.
it's just blokes, sweaty
doesn't-
blokes who live in their mum's basements.
You don't
So
even have to represent your team there.
That's true.
FIBA World Cup, the US, the biggest
Don't
basketball.
even give a fuck
don't
about
give
it.
a shit
Yeah.
about this. Australians care about the Oztag
All
World
right.
Cup.
So-
I think it's higher than those.
all right, I'm going to say it's the mid tier then.
Is it on then Rugby League World Cup?
We can't put it above. We simply can't put it above the Rugby League World Cup.
All right, but we're putting it on par.
We're putting it on par.
All right, just to recap. At the bottom, higher, our bottom tier, we have SmackDown World
Yep,
Cup.
correct.
The Fied Chess World Cup.
I think we might have done chess a bit dirty, just quietly. Now that I think
We
about
can
it.
revisit when we read through all of them. The Orienteering World Cup. Second last one, we have the FIBA Basketball World Cup and the FIFA E World Cup. Middle tier, we have the Rugby League World Cup, the ICC Men's T20 World Cup, and the Oztag World Cup. The second highest tier is the World Cup by speed. We have the
ICC men's
one day World Cup. And at Waka Waka, we have the FIFA World Cup standing on its line.
See, I think the first two are fine. There's no. You can't have any arguments for the first two.
We have Oztag at the same tier as Rugby League.
And I'm okay with that.
I'm actually,
I'm
pretty
very
okay
with that. I think maybe out of respect we put chess up.
We'll put
one.
chess alongside the FIBA World Cup and the FIFA
I think
World
so.
Cup.
I think out of respect for that.
But I think we've smashed it with this tier list.
I think so too.
It's never too early to play holiday music, and it's never too early to start thinking about gifts. Whether it's for a friend or the friends in your pants, you can make this season to be jolly with Manscaped. Do your little drummer boy a favor and use the Lawnmower 4.0 to avoid another silent night in the bedroom. Then add in Manscaped's top-of-the-line shower products to have all the people thinking, all I want for Christmas is you. The Manscaped Platinum Package 4.0 is the one-stop shop for the man who deserves it all. It has everything needed to help you deck the halls from face to ball just in time for this mistletoe season. And for the perfect stocking stuffer, add in the brand new Body Buffer, an incredible body scrubber that makes exfoliating easy and a lot cleaner than that old loofah. Santa cares about his sack, and so should you. Look nice when you get naughty by going to manscaped.com and use the code TCB for free shipping and 20% off. As I said, my friends, get 20% off and free shipping with the code TCB at manscaped.com. Once again for you at the back and you at home. That's 20% off and free shipping at manscaped.com with the code TCB. Manscaped, get your jingle balls ready for the holidays. Alrighty, fellas, now on to the real World Cup, minus that last segment where we talked about orienteering and chess. I'm sure when you saw the title and realized it was a World Cup special, you didn't expect WWE SmackDown, but we are here with the World Cup, what everyone has been waiting for this episode. So what we will do today, we'll go through some of our predictions, and then we'll also go through some interesting predictions, We'll see who's most likely to do a couple of things. And we'll just give our general hot takes as well, what we think will happen this World Cup.
I think hot takes is just what we do all the time, though. So this is just regular listening.
So the first part is irregular listening, and the rest will be as business as per usual. But we'll kick it off. We were hoping to get some alternate views here, but unfortunately,
that's all right. I actually would have liked to have heard Ro's views on this.
the alternate did not show up.
Yeah.
Maybe we can get them at the end.
Maybe next week. The World Cup does go for a month, so.
Yeah. Anyways, we'll start off. The winner, Sen. Who will win the FIFA World Cup in Qatar?
Australia.
Okay, now for your serious answer.
Yeah. Yeah, hot takes is later. Brazil. I think Brazil's going to
I
win.
also have Brazil.
But that's a boring answer. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like I've been
They're the favorite.
I've been listening to a lot of podcasts about the World Cup in the last week or so, and everyone's been saying Brazil. So it is a boring answer.
But my friend, their team is stacked.
Oh, they're stacked. Absolutely, they're stacked. They're disgustingly stacked from front to
top
back.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Edison is on the bench.
Yeah, exactly.
Firmino's left back at home.
I don't think Firmino was going to get picked anyway.
That still
he doesn't
shows
really
you-
fit the thing. But yeah, Edison, literally a top 5 keeper, is not even starting.
Their forward line, mate. Neymar,
Yeah,
Jesus,
unbelievable.
Vinny Jr., Anthony.
The only thing is their
Richarlison.
fullbacks are the only problem.
Dani Alves.
Dani Alves.
Alex Telles.
38-year-old Dani Alves. Good on him.
Their fullbacks are serviceable.
Yeah. But like compared to the fullbacks they've had in the past,
That
it's a
is
massive fall from grace. But
there's no team that is perfect in every position, though, I feel.
and I think Brazil is probably the closest that comes to that.
Exactly. So
But I'm trying to think of another. Like, Brazil's the obvious answer, but maybe
Argentina.
everyone says Argentina. I'm not convinced about
It's just the
Argentina.
Messi
It's just the
factor.
Messi.
And-
Yeah,
but
blah, blah,
it's
blah.
been like that for years. They got to what World Cup?
14.
They got to the final.
They
Exactly.
made the final.
And their team wasn't great.
But I thought that was their strongest team they had.
They had good forwards.
Well, Higuain shit the bed a few times.
Exactly.
So
Their midfield was all right.
All right.
Their defense was all right, but they had Lionel Messi. So I think that's the factor people are hoping on. France,
I don't see France winning it.
Players
Their
are dro-
midfield
their
is
players
so,
are dropping
and their players
every
are
day.
dropping, and their
breaking news: Kareem Benzema's out of the World
out
Cup.
exactly. I reckon Australia could. I know it's not hot takes yet. But Australia could beat France
Well,
just quietly.
I'll save that one for later. So we both got Brazil as the winners.
yeah.
Dark horse.
But I will say, I wouldn't be surprised if Brazil doesn't win as well. There's a lot of expectation. The weight
they're
of
not
expectation.
heavy favorites.
No.
Normally in a World Cup, last World Cup, France were heavy.
Yeah. Definitely.
Whereas this one,
definitely.
Brazil is like sly favorites amongst a bunch of others. I feel like we've missed some teams when we've listed out the favorites. But Germany, Spain.
Nah, I don't really see
Don't
Germany
back 'em.
and France.
Yeah.
No, Spain, bro. They got Morata up top. They can't even score a goal.
Dark horse.
So last World Cup, the dark horse, or not the dark horse, but the unexpected, contenders were Croatia when they went on the maddest run. Someone we missed just quietly in the win, I just realized, was England.
Missed
Dark
them for a
horses,
reason.
maybe? Maybe dark horses,
I
England.
don't think they're dark horses.
I think a lot of people have written them off.
No, I think they're.
I don't think they're as highly rated. They'll be there and thereabouts, but I don't think anyone genuinely thinks they're going to win it.
That's true. But I think they're still too good to be a dark horse.
Yeah, okay. No, I can agree with that. My dark horse, Denmark.
Denmark.
In my World Cup bracket, I
Danes.
have Denmark making the World Cup final.
Brother. How?
I forgot to take a screenshot of it, but I have them winning the group against Australia. Sorry, the Australia-France group. And then I have them, I think they play like England, Portugal on the way. And I genuinely think
they're going to beat them.
They'll pick off all of them.
Name me 3 Danish players.
Højbjerg,
I
Eriksson,
should do that.
yeah. Martin Brathwaite.
Braithwaite. He's still around.
Yeah, he's in their team.
Interesting.
Caps Schmeichel. They got it. The thing is, they don't have
any exciting forward, I feel.
Brathwaite, Damsgaard. Is that his name? Damsgaard. He scored a couple in the Euros last year. See, the thing is, they don't have any like big name players, but they all they know their roles and they do it
they're not a
very
sexy
well.
team.
They're not a sexy team. They're just they're like Croatia. Except Croatia had Luka Modric, obviously, but they're just a very good team and they're in a very good run of form right now.
I could back Denmark, actually. No, with France a bit off as well.
I genuinely think I've bet on Denmark to win the group, so that's a little cheeky tip out there for all you listeners. But
Is this gambling advice now?
no, this is
Senny's
just
tips?
Senny's tips. Nah, I have Denmark as my dark horse.
My dark horse was, and this is the same dark horse I had in the last World Cup. I had Senegal. until Sadio Mane.
Yeah.
Till Mane got
That's a shame. That is a shame.
Because they have a solid.
They got a solid team, and they won the AFCON earlier this year.
Exactly. I back Senegal.
So they're in good form, but they're in a tough group.
Pressure makes diamonds, baby.
Dark horse, I like
But
it.
what I have now is I have Serbia.
Nah,
They
stop
have
it.
a solid,
They're not even making out of their group.
They have a solid team.
They're not making out of the group.
Mitrovic, Vlahovic, Kostic,
Brazil and Switzerland are making it out of
Milinkovic,
that group.
Savic. They have all the itches.
Have you
mate.
seen? I saw a TikTok of their team, and literally they have every of their 26-man squad. 25 of them have itch in their name, except for one bloke. And so it's literally just him and 25 itches in their team. They have a good team. They do have a good team.
They
But I
have a
don't
good
see
team.
them.
Underrated. Their team is widely spread across Europe.
I don't see him
Playing
making him out of the
different
group though.
teams. Dusan Tadic, you ain't back him.
Maybe 5 years ago.
Anyways, Luka Jovic, the Real Madrid flop.
Oh yeah.
I back Serbia. They are there.
All right, it's not a bad. It's
Because I
not a
reckon
bad.
Serbia have got a little mongrel.
Something about them.
Exactly,
Yeah,
they've
a bit
got
about them.
Flops. Who is the team that is widely touted? Maybe one of the favorites we listed earlier, and they're just gonna
Stink it up.
bed.
I got Belgium.
I have Belgium as
Belgium.
well.
I actually don't know why people are so bigging up Belgium.
Belgium have been the most disappointing team in the past
Well,
decade.
to be fair, they made
And
the
I don't need-
semis.
I don't need to add that in the hot takes.
They made the semi of the last World
But
Cup.
that's like as per expectation.
yeah.
That
And
Eden Hazard, who at the time
Was
probably a top
one of the best-
5
yeah,
player in the
yeah,
world, top
yeah.
3 even some might say.
well, they have De Bruyne now, who's probably a top 5 player in the
But
world.
even back then, Kevin Durant was probably like top
He was
10,
very- yeah,
15
gun,
player
gun,
back
yeah.
then. Lukaku was probably in stellar form.
That's true.
Their defense was in its peak.
In its
terms
peak.
of Vertonghen, Alderweireld.
And that's the problem with the Belgian team is it's the same team as the 2018 World Cup.
probably 2014 World Cup.
So like their defense is so old. Lukaku's not scoring goals.
Hazard
Hazard
is-
has fallen off the face of the
Played
earth.
2 games the past 3 years.
Yeah,
some
he's
shit.
got a massive bunda. I'm not that. I think they'll make it to like the round of 16, maybe quarters, but that's about it.
I've never been
I don't-
sold on Belgium.
No,
It's just
that-
some individuals.
If they do go far, it'll be because of Courtois. Courtois is literally going to have to save their ass so much. Like he's going to have the tournament of his life, like he did in the Champions League.
And their manager,
Oh yeah,
Roberto Martinez.
mate, FA Cup winner, please.
Anyone could do FA Cup.
Yeah, so I think, but is everyone expecting Belgium to flop though?
No, but I don't know if it's the people I'm talking to, but if you talk, people always throw Belgium in. Like they throw them in the group. We didn't even think of them as favorites, but
Yeah,
people
yeah.
throw them in because of the De Bruyne factor.
Can I say Portugal as well? Low key could flop.
I think Portugal either crash out of the group stage or they'll make it to at least the semis.
Yeah,
I don't see them
right.
having an average tournament,
Okay, yeah,
but I think that's also a fair shout.
I can agree with that.
Top scorer.
Well, the obvious one I would say, well, maybe not obvious to me, maybe I was going to say Mbappe. He did.
That's fair.
Mbappe and Kane both did very well last World Cup, and they're both in pretty good form now.
That is true, but Mbappe is dependent on France.
Exactly. That's what I was going to say. France, if they shit the bed, then Mbappe obviously won't do much. And Kane, again, it looks like, I'm pretty sure England are winless in the last 6 games or something, and they've barely scored goals. So again, they're very reliant on Harry Kane.
I feel like that was England before the Euros.
That's true. And then they just turn it on.
Yeah, and then before every major tournament, England smash the qualifiers.
Yeah,
They win
yeah.
like
And
10-0 against San Marino. They win 5-0 against like a Denmark or something.
Liechtenstein, all these
Liechtenstein,
teams.
smack them. Then when they get to the international tournament, they shit the bed. So maybe it's the reverse.
Maybe it's the reverse.
So who do you have as the top scorer?
I've gone with Harry Kane.
I've
Gone with Harry Kane.
I've gone bold.
Who?
I've gone Vinicius Jr.
So bold. I like it.
Vinicius Jr. has been, his last season for Real Madrid has been top tier.
Yeah, but
And if Brazil make it, mathematically, they play the most games.
and
I feel like-
oh yeah, I didn't think of that.
I think Neymar will have a great tournament, but I don't think he will bag the most goals.
But surely the danger is that the goal gets spread between like him, Richarlison, Neymar, Gabby Jesus,
Gabby Jesus scored like 1 goal for Brazil.
Rafinha. I don't know. There's like a lot of them who could score
But
goals.
Vinicius Jr. he's
all right.
been on the up. And
He's
I
been
I
great
think
player,
He'll be top scorer.
top scorer of the World Cup.
I think this will be a
outrageous.
breakout World Cup for him. Last serious prediction we have. Where will Australia make it in the Qatar World Cup? You said final. Was your opening line to this segment?
Taking the piss, a bit of hope. This Australian team is, I reckon, better than the 2018 team that we had. That 2018 team was horrific.
It was Plumbers and Tim Cairn.
Yeah,
I shouldn't say that. I
it
shouldn't
wasn't.
say
It was. This one is actually decent. There's some good young kids, and there's like good A-League talent as well. Like
Christian Volpato.
yeah, look, a lot. You know what? It happened a couple of weeks ago, and a lot of people were like having a go at him. Blah blah blah. I actually don't blame him. I genuinely don't blame him. I wish him
He's
all
been
the
done
best.
dirty by the Australian Academy. He was rejected. He was
rejected by
Wanderers and Sydney FC.
two A-League clubs rejected him, saying he wasn't good enough.
Then Roma picked him up.
He's gone to fucking Syria playing for Roma under Jose Mourinho.
My favorite part was when Australia lost one of their World Cup qualifiers, and then on his like private Snapchat, he like had like laughing
emoji.
with the
Yeah,
photo of the loss, and they like got leaked.
Whoever leaked that was a dickhead. I don't blame him. He's also of Italian descent. Like he was born here, but I think his family is from Italy.
Christian Vieri also like that.
Yes, but I think Vieri was more Italian than this guy. Because Vieri, I think, was born in Italy, but he came and lived in Australia for a while.
But who are we to talk about players that, you know, have qualified for a country by their granddad?
Yeah, exactly.
Half our fucking team is kind of like...
Exactly.
Martin Boyle.
Exactly.
Harry Suter.
Harry Suter is the biggest one. I love Harry Suter.
Bro, I was watching like a video of like the Australia squad like arriving at Qatar, and I just see like the thickest like Scottish accent.
Yeah.
And I'm like, who the fuck is that? That's fine, dude.
Like, yeah, Australia has a history of deeply ethnic backgrounds. Like, if you look at that 2006 World Cup, half of them were like of Eastern European background, like Viduka, Kuhl. No, maybe not Kuhl.
Kuhl.
Who am I thinking of right now?
I know what you mean.
But you know what I mean? Like, there was a lot of individuals who came from like the Aloisi, for example, Italian. Bresciano, Italian.
Yeah, those sort of guys.
So, like, it's those sort of guys. Like, so, like, fine. If this guy's chosen, like, to try his best and try and make it to the Italian team, fair play.
And I used to be against it, but but I also thought about it. Like, for example, think about me, right? If I'm an international player and my grandma was, just say Philippines, right?
Yeah.
But then I can't qualify for Australia. But all my other parents are Australian.
Yeah,
I'm so proud of
grandma's
heritage. So it's not like I'm just playing for the shits and gigs.
Yeah. And I understand his reasoning. So, sorry, to answer your question, I think Australia will be back on the plane soon, back home. I think in my heart, I'd love us to come second in the group above France. So it could be Denmark 1, us second. But realistically, it'll probably be us third, France second, Denmark first, and Tunisia
Better than
fourth.
Tunisia, to be fair.
Better than Tunisia. We should be beating Tunisia.
Better than Sunzia.
Yeah. I think Tunisia is the only team on paper we can beat.
Which is playing at 9 p.m. on a Saturday.
Which is prime time.
I have Australia getting to the round of 16.
I'd love to see it. I genuinely love to see it, but I can't.
I had them getting above Denmark. But based on what you've said, I think they'll be above France. I think France will.
It really just depends on do France shit the better.
Because they've lost their core. I think people underestimate how important that midfield is.
Yeah. Kante and Pogba. That was disgusting, that midfield.
Benzema, Ballon d'Or winner out.
But Benzema didn't really start for them, did they?
It's fine.
Like, they've still got a good attack. They've still got a great defense. They've got a great defense.
The Mbappe factor. The ego. The clashing of personalities.
That's the thing. Like, France will beat themselves at this point. Like
it's like a fragile mindset, I reckon.
So Australia, I think, second or third, but most likely, in my opinion, third. You reckon second?
I think round of 16, and then they'll crash.
I love it.
Alrighty, I've got some most likely twos which we'll run through. The first one, a very contentious one, given what's been happening in the news recently. Most likely to violate the local laws. So the laws in Qatar, we know they're not. I kind of respect it in a way. They are withstanding their local traditions and their local laws and what they believe, and they're not bending backwards for other countries.
But it is a World Cup, so
that is also the other side of the coin. We've seen, what have we seen recently? Beer has been banned.
Beer has been banned.
Despite Budweiser being a major sponsor.
I feel like that was already like in plans for months, that they were always going to ban it, but they just waited until literally the last day to do it.
What are you going to do, cancel?
Yeah, exactly. What are you going to do now? So it was good alphaing by them.
That is true. And, they're very firm on...
like the LGBT and all that. Yes. Like, they're very against that.
So which team or player or whatever is going to...
I've gone for fans, and I think the English fans are most likely to violate some laws for sure. Actually, no. See, thing is, now that they've banned alcohol, I think
reduce the chances
for sure, unless they like sneak it in somehow. But I think if alcohol was involved, I'm saying definitely the English fans, or like Australian fans, like the most rowdiest fans, would probably do something to rub the Qataris the wrong way.
It is coming out of Group B. I have the United States of America fans.
Really? Nah, I think they're pussies.
I think there's a bit of arrogance about them.
Nah, they're cowards.
I reckon
they don't have that like hooligan kind of culture in the US.
That is true,
which is ingrained within UK culture, and Australians, we all know, just love to get on the piss. So
half the teams are also wearing teams though. They're wearing armbands.
Yeah. That's what I was going to bring up as well. The One Love armbands.
I know England, Harry Kane will wear it, but I don't think the English fans will get around it. Like they don't mind, but there's
definitely a disconnect between the fans and the players with certain social issues.
Is there a team that will be like back, the social justice side? Because that also breaks the law, I
don't think any team will out and out come and with like one massive gesture, but they'll all do little things like that, wearing the armband.
Denmark are wearing an all black kit.
What's up with that?
As in, like, you can't see sponsors, you can't see anything.
Oh, good.
Because the whole thing is they don't want to, like,
Give money.
generate
Yeah.
From this World
I respect
Cup.
that.
So maybe the Danish fans can get amongst that, and then it'll rub them the wrong way. What was that news reporter that came in?
There was a Danish one as well.
I don't know, dude.
They're targeting the Danes, maybe.
There's some in the waters, something brewing.
Something's going to happen.
By
I
the time
reckon.
this episode comes out, there
Maybe
be
something could have
that's
happened.
brewing.
That is true.
Alrighty, the next one. Most likely to get racially abused by football Twitter.
I mean, that's an easy one. We saw it at the Euros. As soon as the English team, gets bundled out in the quarters and the semis in penalties or, some sort of dubious way, the fans are just going to go onto their Twitter. And I feel sorry for the boys already. If I'm them, I'm telling them to get off Twitter already before we've... And who knows with this Elon Musk Twitter as well, where anything goes.
People are allowed back on.
Exactly. We saw Andrew Tate get allowed back onto Twitter. He's back on Twitter.
Wow, that's huge.
And so who knows? Maybe Donald Trump's back by then. Maybe he suddenly gets into soccer, goes at the US players. Who knows?
US could be a shout as well.
Yeah, Mexico. Maybe he goes at the Mexican players.
But here's what I'll say. Dare I throw in a spanner with this, most likely? Other teams abusing a different team. The patriotism kicks in.
Oh, so I don't remember what happened in the last World Cup in terms of like that sort of stuff. Wow. But I feel like that happens on a normal daily basis anyway. I don't think you need a World Cup to stoke that kind of animosity between countries. Yeah, but I could
I think English players.
Like Iran versus US or something. That would be nice and spicy.
Exactly. Those sort of games.
Yeah, those sort of games. Even US versus UK, England. A lot of,
could
back to 1700s or whatever.
Oh man, but I also think English players are the most most in danger, unfortunately.
That's unfortunate.
Third one, most likely to be the Office bandwagon team.
I think there's 3 here.
So you've stepped into the the Office or whatever Zoom call. People are starting to pick up pace about World
Cup. Yeah.
But the normal people you talk to about sport and they know a bit. Then all of a sudden these random Joe and Mary are chirping up about the World Cup.
I think they're chirping about probably Brazil. Because, it's the biggest name, like their favorites, blah, blah, blah. But also I think there's going to be a bit about Portugal and Argentina, the Messi, Ronaldo bandwagon people will come out of the woodwork for this one as well. But I think Brazil, Argentina, Portugal are going to be the big 3 bandwagon ones.
I had Germany for this.
Nah, not in Australia at least. I
feel like just people know Germany are like good team.
Yeah.
Football culture.
Yeah, but those people are probably supporting Italy at this World Cup as well.
That is true.
And you just have to tell them, mate, they're not even there.
That is true. I think Argentina and Portugal are a good shout.
Or England. I reckon England's another bandwagon one that people in Australia, I reckon, people will be like,
England's decisive. There are people that will back England, and there are people who just completely don't want England to do well.
And obviously this is after the group stages because obviously everyone will be supporting Australia until then. And then when they're on their plane back to Sydney, we'll support other teams.
Yeah, exactly. What team will people be supporting? That's another one.
I'm supporting the sport. I'm supporting Qatar, actually. I reckon... No, we're not at the hot takes yet. Continue.
We'll save that one. We'll go. We've just got 2 more to make. Most likely to sell the most fake jerseys overseas. So, you go to...
I've taken this as the most aesthetic jerseys. The Germany, the dark, the black German kit. That's a nice one. The Argentina one is nice. The Mexico away one, the light one. Wowee, that is a beautiful, beautiful kit. And then I have last as well the France one because I think that's also just one that everyone gets around.
I've gone with France. I've gone specifically Mbappe.
I
think people are buying Mbappe.
Oh, you mean just one player's jersey?
Doesn't matter.
Okay, yeah.
Because I think the aesthetic jerseys will sell off.
Surely the aesthetic, because I'm looking to buy some of the aesthetic ones.
But I think you walk into a store, especially in like a Bali, where they have just a fake jersey.
They'll have the big names. Mbappe's number 1, for sure.
Last one. Most likely to be the bookie's favorite. We don't mean the best odds. We mean what bet or player or team or whatever will earn the bookies the most money. What will people bet on the most?
Well, I think
they're going to lose.
I think Ecuador's going to make the most money. If you've read in reports this week that they're getting bribed to lose to Qatar.
Can we keep that off record because I have placed a bet based on that information.
So Ecuador, if you're in Ecuador, just check the players' houses after the World Cup. If they're all driving Lamborghinis, all of a sudden, you know what's happening.
I hear there should be 7 Lamborghinis.
I think a lot of people are going to be betting on like Messi or Ronaldo to be like the golden boot winner. No, sorry, not the golden boot, like the golden balls, like the best player of the tournament. I personally, I'm going to bet on Alisson to win the golden glove for the best goalkeeper of the tournament.
You think that's a bet people?
I think that's a good bet because you think about it. If Brazil are going to go deep, they're going to need some good performances from Alisson. Could be some money there.
Yeah. I have the one that will lose people the most money.
I'll lose people.
It's fine. We'll take it either way. Messi or Ronaldo as goal scorers. I don't think they're going to score. I think they're both not going to score that many goals. But people are just going to think, oh, fuck, it's Portugal versus Ghana. Ronaldo's going to bag a hat trick.
Yeah, that's true.
He's not even going to do that.
Or he could, like he did against Spain last time.
That is true. But I just think, no, but I think he's not going to do that every game. And people are just going to try and bet on it every game.
If in terms of people losing money, maybe people losing money on Brazil if they don't go all the way. Or France, I reckon. I reckon a lot of people, to win people money. I reckon people might bet on France to not make it out of the groups now.
I think those sort of bets will win people money. Because the odds of France not making it out of the groups were like, what?
I checked it the other day. They were favourites to win the group literally 2 days ago.
Of course they are.
So I don't know if this Benzema news has changed anything, but they'd still be heavy favourites to go through. So
because there's always one or two upsets in the group stage.
Yeah.
As long as you back all the favourites, I reckon you're walking away with a lot of money.
Yep.
Alrighty. The favourite part of the segment or the
beautiful
episode, the hot takes. Do you want to start us off with one, Senny?
All right, hot takes. Number one, Qatar is making it out of the group.
Fuck off.
Qatar's making it out of the group. I'm telling you, Qatar.
By virtue of ability or by virtue of the dollar?
Insert whatever you want there. Look, it's like Russia at the last World Cup where they made it to the quarters. Who saw that coming? Russia were the lowest ranked team at that World Cup. And they went on one of the greatest runs that we've ever seen. So
you could at least name a Russian player.
Cherchesov or whatever his name was. That's the only one.
For Real Madrid. You know what I mean?
Qatar, I know. I think Qatar's making it out of the group stages. I really do think so. I think Senegal without Mane is a big loss. Netherlands, I think, will win the group. And then Qatar, man, I'm telling you, there's something fishy going on.
There's something
you don't spend that much money on a World Cup.
Just to not even score.
And just to even get the World Cup, sorry. And then money to hold the World Cup if your team's going to get bundled out in 3 games. So I reckon they're going to make the round of 16, just quietly.
Fair enough.
That's my number one hot take.
One of my hot takes. A few of these I've covered in the previous chats, but I will cover them in. My first hot take: England won't make it to the quarterfinals.
Quarterfinal? Yeah, okay.
Like they'll lose in the round of 16.
I mean, that's very possible, to be honest.
Highly unlikely,
but it could happen
based on the odds.
Yeah.
But as you've said recently, the qualifiers they've been stinky.
Yeah.
And Gareth Southgate, I don't think any English. What I've heard is everyone just backs Gareth Southgate because he's earned it,
Well, he has, to be fair. Yeah. Semi-final of the World Cup, final of the Euros, but you only
shithouse so much. And I think
I don't know, man.
They're gonna fumble it.
I don't. Yeah, I disagree, but they're
leaving players like Tamori back home.
There's some
Sancho. They're leaving all these.
There's a bit of bias there.
Exactly. James Maddison just got in the squad. Barely. Even though he's had like the most goals and assists
this entire season.
Minus like Haaland or something, right?
Yeah.
So the fact, and then they're just going to play 5-3-2 or something.
Yeah, some
boring
defensive
midfielders.
Disgusting
Kane
football.
and Sterling up front. Sterling out of form.
Yep.
Kane might score a penalty or two.
They'll shit ours their way, I reckon.
Yeah, fair enough. But I just don't think England will make it to the quarterfinals.
I've got my next one is Spain will not make it out of the group stages.
I also have Spain will crash out of the group stage.
I think Japan very quietly have assembled a very decent team. Good, well-organized team. And Spain, on paper, just don't look good.
And the thing about teams like either in Qatar or Japan, they've got more national pride in it, I feel.
I don't want to say it because I don't know if that's racist, but yeah.
It's not racist. Because like Spain, for example, they're like such a big team. Big football to them is Champions League every week.
Yeah.
La Liga, Premier League. This is like also a pinnacle.
It's like their life.
The smaller teams, throw in Australia, it's the World Cup. It's
because you have to teams like that. You have to work even harder just to make the World Cup. So like making a World Cup just even qualifying alone is like such a huge deal.
Yeah,
where like Spain, like whatever they expect to qualify every single tournament,
and teams like Spain. Like a lot of their players play for Barcelona, Real Madrid, the team cohesion's not really there.
Yeah.
Whereas in Australia, you just know they're all. I
think Japan do that nationalistic energy, that samurai energy, bro. I'm being full. They're called the Blue Samurais. Don't look at me like that. Wasn't a racist comment. I really do think Japan's going to surprise everyone.
Yeah, and as you said on paper,
or I could be completely wrong. Who knows?
Yeah, that's the fun of it. We can say whatever we want, and half of them will be right.
Yeah, exactly.
But as you said, Spain not inspiring. The next one I have. Portugal won't make it out of the group stage.
I thought about this.
Their group is tough.
I mean, it really depends on South Korea.
Uruguay, South Korea.
It just comes down to South Korea.
Ghana upset.
I don't think Ghana's that good. But Uruguay, South Korea, tough. Tough teams.
I was going to say Uruguay top the group, but I don't even think that's a hot take. Because I think Uruguay as a team special.
But Uruguay have a lot of like fitness issues right now. Like their defense, half their defense is like carrying like injuries. So it really depends on if they come good. South Korea, made the round of 16 last year.
Upset Germany.
Exactly. So they're a very good team. Like similar to Japan.
Song Heung-min has a face mask or something. He like broke his nose.
Yeah.
Exactly. So
it's going to be like Demba Ba or Fernando Torres a few years ago.
LeBron with a mask, bro. He was
LeBron mask was good.
Good form, so this could bring it out.
So actually, that is a tough.
It's a disgustingly tough group.
Okay, all right.
My next one, Croatia will go far in this World Cup. I think everyone's thinking they've aged. Got it on.
They were old even at the 2018 World Cup.
But Luka Modric is still balling.
It's aging like a fine wine.
Exactly. And they've just got an all-around team. And I think people are underselling them based on the age factor. I think they'll still go far. And my friends, I have a last hot take and it'll just sum up the whole thing. This will go down as the world... Oh, fuck. My last hot take today, and I think it's the one I want to drive home, the message I want to drive home to everyone out there. This will go down as the worst World Cup ever.
Agreed. One of the World Cups of all time.
It's just, the juju's just off from the beginning.
And where I'm coming from is as a salty Australian fan, because we were a part of the bid to get the
20 minutes down the road.
We were in the bidding process. Apparently, we paid $40 million for our bid that year. So it was like us, US, Japan.
I thought England were in it as well.
Yes, England were in it. England apparently only paid $5 million for their bid. Like they barely even tried. And then Qatar, who, God knows how much they paid in bribes to get it. But apparently so what I've been reading is it's very obvious. Like they just lobbied the hardest for it. So like they went to all the executive members who could vote. And they literally just wined and dined and
lined their pockets.
Bought them houses, bought them whatever. And apparently all the other countries didn't really do it because, they're all democratic countries. So there's a lot of like checks and balances. You can't just be throwing money under the table.
Also don't have the money.
Yeah, that's also the big thing.
Qatar FIFA World Cup bid.
Yeah, exactly. Like it would be if you're an Australian politician and you're like the sports minister or whatever, and you're like, we're going to allocate $100 million for bribes. Obviously, you wouldn't say that, but if it came out, you'd lose your job just like that.
Exactly.
And like the thing is, I think one of the reasons they gave it to Qatar, well, obviously apart from the bribes, was that they wanted to give it to a country who hasn't hosted it before, because all the other countries had hosted it before. Why not give it to Australia? Literally, why not give it to Australia? Sure. Like, off the top of my head, I can think of 3 stadiums just in Sydney alone.
Already built.
That could host a World Cup game tomorrow if we wanted to.
Exactly.
Like that. Exactly. And then there's no issues with like not having to sell beer here. Bro, beer is our national drink. Exactly. You can get it off the tap here, literally in everyone's house. Have you seen the accommodation of people in Qatar where there's like Fire Festival where they're living in they're literally living in tents and shit. Again, we have all the infrastructure for that. We have every single city in Australia has hotels, Airbnbs. Like Melbourne has, again, 3 stadiums that could host a World Cup game tomorrow as well.
It's the fact that Qatar hosting it makes 0 sense.
It makes 0 sense.
Minus financially.
Yeah, obviously.
For FIFA.
It is. And
then for the world.
And they had to move the World Cup to November because it's too hot.
You move it because it's too hot. And then, like, you're seeing videos now of players training. Wales had to stop training because it's too hot.
Yeah, but it was like 30 degrees. They were being soft. But, again, another reason, Australia, you could have it in June, July here in Australia because that's our winter.
Exactly.
Max is going to get to like 23, 24, max. And even then, I doubt it. Like, I can't think, the only reason why they wouldn't give it to Australia is because of the time zone. The time zone here is fucked. Like a game, for example, if a game was in Sydney, a game kick off at 7 p.m., for example, that's like 10 a.m., 9 a.m. in Europe.
You're losing a lot of the...
You're losing... Even so, an earlier game, a 5 p.m. kickoff here is like 4 a.m., 5 a.m. So you're losing a lot of the European market, but Asia's only a couple hours behind us. That's a huge market. America, again, so I think if it's 7 p.m. here, it's probably maybe 10 p.m. there or something. So still pretty good timing. It's like prime time.
Markets you lose, you gain.
Exactly.
It's just bigger markets.
Exactly. And it's the World Cup, so surely...
People are waking up for it. Oh, we're waking up.
Exactly.
Every second day to watch some games.
So the big problem is because none of our games would be prime time in Europe. But literally, infrastructure, we have all the stadiums. You wouldn't have to move it to another month. You can have it in June, July. We have no issues with anyone and everyone can come here. You don't have to change who you are. We have all the hotels and stuff like that. There's literally...
The FIFA president will have to come in and say some outrageous things.
Yeah, can I read the Infantino quote from yesterday? That was outrageous. But yeah, I think it's going to be a horrible World Cup.
You get that up. And the fact that they had nothing built. No stadiums. How many let's chuck in human rights. Why not? So many people have to die just to make the stadiums. They're still building fan zones right now.
Yeah.
Like it's what we're recording this on Sunday. Less than like 24, 48 hours. They're still building shit.
And even if you want to go by the football heritage, I know Australia doesn't have much, but Qatar has 0.
Exactly.
Australia have at least qualified. This will be our 6th World Cup, 5th in a row.
Qatar postponed their local league.
Yeah.
1 or 2 months ago just to practice for the World Cup.
Yeah, exactly.
So they just fucked off a league so they could prepare for this.
This is the only time they've ever qualified for a World Cup was because they fucking bought the World Cup. So FIFA President Gianni Infantino at a news conference in Qatar yesterday said, "Today I feel Qatari. Today I feel Arab. Today I feel African. Today I feel gay. Today I feel disabled. Today I feel a migrant worker. I know what it feels like to be discriminated. I was bullied because I had red hair." How tone deaf.
What hair does he have in that?
Yeah,
photo?
this man looks like Johnny Sins, bro. He's fucking bald. Dude.
And the way, did you watch the video of how he read it?
No, I didn't actually.
Full serious.
I don't want to.
Like in such slow pace, like, I am Qatari. Like, as if he's delivering some powerful message.
Today I feel gay. Today I feel disabled. Bro. Yeah, I'm sure all the gay people out there are really happy that you are giving them some sort of representation.
I just have a bad feeling, bro. There's going to be like a gay...
No, the thing is, right,
There's
everyone says...
a couple going to advocate for their human rights. I just feel like the Qatari police...
Everyone says something's going to happen. The thing is, like, we'll never know. Like, with the Russian World Cup, everyone says it was all fine, but we never knew what actually happened. Like, anything that bad that happens will just get swept under the carpet and you'll never hear about it.
No, because I feel like the Russian World Cup, there wasn't a heavy Western media agenda against it.
And there probably should have been, to be honest.
Should have been, but like the Qatari one, huge agenda against
and maybe
it.
that is racially motivated. It could be.
Disrespect to the local laws.
To me, there should have been as much scrutiny on Russia as there was on Qatar. I'll put that out there.
To be fair, when both of those got announced, it was both
the stinkers.
But it's just the fact that leading up to the World, it's just bad juju, bro. Like, the way, a week ago, some Danish reporter went and then they just got told to stop filming.
Yeah.
Just cause.
And
And then you read on, like, for example, the soccer subreddit or Twitter or something, people are like, some guy just tried to take a photo of a building and then the police came up and said, delete the photo.
Yeah.
Like that sort of thing, right?
If they don't want people to come there, why do they want the World Cup?
And then like 2 days before, they just banned beer.
Yeah.
There's this whole question mark over it, and then leading up to it, I was like, yeah, it'll be in allocated areas.
Not to mention all the fake fans and all that shit
yeah,
that I've been seeing.
like they've tried to deny that that's them.
What do you mean?
They're like, oh, they're like from India.
Well, no, so they are, but I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure they are the migrant workers who are over there who built the stadiums, and now they're getting paid to do this as well.
Yeah, I think they're saying they've just flown over from India as big football fans. That's what they're claiming.
Right, okay, all right.
And it's the fact that the beer thing, it rubs me such a wrong way. Because there's been months they could have fucking declared it.
Yeah.
They're not going to do it.
And it's fine. If they wanted to do that from the beginning, that's fine.
Yeah, just don't honeypot us. Don't fucking
exactly.
bait and switch. Get everyone whilst they're already there. And then you say beer's banned, but it's not banned for the corporate boxes. You know that, right?
Yeah, I saw that.
What the fuck is that?
So it's
It's outrageous. And I'm just...
But nothing's going to happen. Like, nothing will come of it. We can yell into this mic as long as we want, and everyone can, tweet as much as they want, but nothing's going to happen.
All right. This is the attitude of what you going to do? Qatar's like, you're already here, bro.
Exactly.
What you
Literally.
leave?
The tournament's going to happen. The players are going to play. They'll make their money. We're going to watch.
All righty, friends. That brings us to the end of this World Cup extravaganza. Let us know your thoughts on the World Cup. By the time this goes out, we'll be a few match days in. It would have kicked off. Some of the predictions, hot takes we've made might already be wrong. Who knows? But let us know your thoughts. DM us on Instagram. We love seeing all your messages. Comment down below if you're on YouTube. Let us know your thoughts of the World Cup. If there's any sort of World Cup content you want to see from us, maybe if you want some betting tips, if you want some more predictions, hot takes, different games surrounding it, let us know. We'll be sure to add in a little hot World Cup flavor throughout the next few weeks when it's going on. Hopefully all the other boys are here. Sen's left early. Rohit never came. Kush, I don't know. But let us know, and we'll see you guys next week.